Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And here we go. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. It's a Monday morning, and it is freezing cold here. Took the dog out, and my pants froze. No, I'm just kidding. But it's cold outside. We got a freeze warning yesterday. I got it on my cell phone. So I had to go out. I have a whole bunch of plants that are growing at the moment. And so I had to bring them all into the garage so that they do not freeze. It was like 70 degrees here last week, and then all of a sudden we got this cold front that came down from the Arctic. You know it's going to be cold when they say Arctic in their weather report. And so now it's a cold day, and we're supposed to get rain and all that other stuff too. And that storm is going right up the East Coast, and I understand that New York is supposed, and Boston are supposed to get some snow. So no snow here. No snow, which we're kind of sad about, because normally we get one day of snow and we say, winter's about over. Well, we didn't get it this year. And next, on the 20th, I believe, it's the first day of spring, so I'm ready for that. Over the weekend, all that was on the news was on the banking situation. 2 banks failed, and one just about ready to fail. We had Silicon Valley Bank, multi-billion-dollar bank, fail. And we had Signature Bank, another multi-billion-dollar bank, but a lot of it is tied to crypto. So we had 2 banks fail, and then we have Republic Bank that had a run on it on Friday. People were lined up outside the doors trying to get their money out. So we have a banking situation, and what makes me really feel sad about this is that in 2022, I put out warnings on Facebook, on Twitter, on this podcast, on how solvent, and I asked the question, how solvent are the banks? Because in an inflationary time, and we're in a recessionary time, things happen in banking. I've been through this before. In the housing market, when that hit the banking industry, and we had to go through all those billion-dollar bailouts. In fact, a lot of the same players that were in that are also in this thing too. The president of Silicon Valley Bank was involved in that. In fact, he was a CFO of Lehman Brothers at the time. And on Signature, who do you think's sitting there on the board? Barney Frank. I don't know if you remember him, but he's the one that developed the Dodd-Frank Act that affected banking and accounting people like myself and everybody else in business. But he's sitting there asking for a bailout for a Signature. Listen, we have a lot of bad players and a lot of bad industries who have been down this road before and who have created havoc before. We have in these 2 banks, we had bad management decisions being made. Now, back in 2022, the FDIC came out with a warning. And then they replayed that warning in January of 2023. And they issued a joint report from the Federal Reserve and the FDIC, putting out a warning saying, be careful of the cryptocurrency. In fact, their statement was, let me read you what their statement was, and I'll post the full report down below in the what do you call it? What do you call that thing down below? Anyway, I post all the links to all my stories. Anyway, the FDIC came out with this statement, and there's a whole bunch of statements looking at the crypto industry as it involves banks. So they said this: issuing or holding as principal crypto assets that are issued, stored, or transferred on an open, public, and or decentralized network or similar system is highly likely to be inconsistent with safe and sound banking practices. Business models that are concentrated in crypto asset related activities or have concentrated exposures to the crypto asset sector raise significant safety and soundness concerns. And of course, that's what we saw over the weekend. Both of these two banks had ties to that, but they also had ties to other government funding mechanisms that, due to the rise in interest rate, devalued them. And so they didn't have enough cash, especially when they had that run on them for several $billion. They didn't have the cash to go forward. So they became a crippled bank. Both of them became crippled banks. And that is the biggest problem. I'm going to put some links down below. That's called the show notes. In the show notes, you will see some stories that explains exactly how and what happened, what caused these banks. I'm going to find one right now. Oh, by the way, on Silicon Valley Bank, there was an article this morning, and I don't know if anybody caught it, but it said that Elon Musk may buy failed Silicon Valley Bank. Tesla CEO says he's open to the idea of Twitter acquiring the California bank that was shut down on March 10 by regulators. So let's see what happens with that, huh? Also, Silicon Valley Bank exec was Lehman Brothers. Remember Lehman Brothers when they fell fast and there had to be a big bailout? It destroyed the whole marketplace. Was CFO of that company, which I just said. Now, let me find this one article. By the way, the Federal Reserve, because this is such a big deal in the banking industry, they're going to have a closed-door meeting today, not open to the public, and they're going to decide what they're going to do in interest rates, how they're going to move forward, how they're going to bail out these banks, because I'm sure that they know that there's more coming, and that's the biggest concern. So the FDIC has created a bank to protect the insured SVB depositors. Silicon Valley Bank, headquartered in Santa Clara, was shut down on March 10th. So now the FDIC has created a bank that will help out these defunct banks. And by the way, one of the former FDIC chair, William Isaacs, said after Silicon Valley Bank failure, there's going to be more. So we have a warning. So don't be surprised when it happens. We have the warning coming out. So there's an article also called Silicon Valley Bank. Why did it collapse? And is this the start of a banking crisis? Yeah, I would say it's going to be a semi-crisis here. By the way, on the Silicon Valley Bank, it gave its employees company-wide bonuses hours before it collapsed. So depositors' monies were used to give bonuses out. We have a banking issue. And we're going to see more. So I don't want you to panic. I want you to remain calm. Find out what's going on with your bank. Call them up today and ask them how strong they are. Because, listen, we've known that this was going to come. I have been preaching this to you guys for a long time. Make sure that your banks are secure. Make sure that all of your money is not in one bank. Move it into other banks. I tell you, it is a tough situation when you see banks begin to fail because of bad management, bad decision making. If you look at Silicon Valley Bank, if you look at their website, you are going to see a lot of words in there about non-banking issues, about inclusion, about equity, about all these woke type of thoughts and ideas. They're just like Twitter. Twitter became so politically motivated that they forgot about how to run their companies like real companies. They forgot about that they're running a business and not running a social program. So if you look at the website, it might still be up, I don't know. But because they're no longer Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, they've been renamed and they're going to be sold off by the FDIC. But if you look at their old website, you will see that they have a lot of verbiage there. In fact, they even have a social person that's all she works on is diversity, equity, and all of these buzzwords everybody uses. See, the problem is when you don't focus on what your business is all about and you go off in other directions, you open yourself up to risk of not managing your business well. We saw that Twitter employees were so focused on getting people, shutting people down, shutting voices down, that the whole management team, the whole organization was so focused on woke politics that they failed to remember that they were running a business. And that's why it failed so badly. And lies became truths. Employees became political hacks. So when you become woke, you make really bad business decisions. Hate to see it happen. But you're going to find that banks have got to change the way that they operate. They have got to become lean and mean, and they have got to focus on what they're supposed to be doing and remain in compliance with FDIC, the federal regulators, and Congress's oversight on banking. Let's hope that this passes. Let's hope we don't have anything like that. Listen, down below in the show notes, there's going to be a lot of links that explain in depth what happened to these banks. Why did they fail? And it's a good read. It's not hard to read. It's in layman's terms. It's not in deep business, legalistic type words. It is about the actual happenings within that bank and what led to their down. Now, we are going to have more, but you can do something today, and that is call your bank and say, how solvent are you? How solvent are you? And you should have been asking that question a long time ago because I warned you about this. I don't want to be the person that says, I told you so, but I told you so. I told you to diversify your funds so that it's spread out and you're able to get access to it. Never put your money all in one bank because you don't know what's going to happen. Now, a lot of you are going to be under that $250,000 threshold, so you should be safe. You are insured. But those of you who have more money in there, be responsible, become good stewards of your money. Listen, if you want to have more access to me, if you'd like to have advisory session or coaching session, you can go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. If you have a business question, you can send it to me at thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. If you want to support this program, go to buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. All my podcasts, blogs, vlogs, they're all there. Waiting for you to go there and take advantage of it. This is Mike Lodge. Everyone have a good Monday. Talk with you soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.